Hello and welcome to today's edition of the program NAFDAC and Your Health, where you get weekly and authentic information about NAFDAC's diligent work in safeguarding health. My name is Tosin Omolaja. According to the World Health Organization, WHO, about 4 billion people, 80% of the world population, presently use herbal medicine for some aspect of primary health care. This shows how important herbal medicine is in health management. Since the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic, many have claimed herbal cure for coronavirus. However, before such claims can be approved and the herbal products allowed for public consumption, it must undergo scientific processes of verification. In this episode, we will show you how NAFDAC is spurring the growth of herbal medicine in Nigeria and how to get your herbal medicine product registered and approved by NAFDAC.
Well, herbal medicine is a category of therapeutics that we are surrounded with. Herbal medicine in Nigeria is something that our grandfathers and great-grandfathers handed down to us. They have been part and parcel of well-being or keeping the population healthy. However, herbal medicines also must have killed a lot of people just because of ignorance. NAFDAC has hundreds of listed herbal medicines for different disease states. But most of those herbal medicines are just listed. There was no stepping up to clinical trial, to efficacy, because what we do in NAFDAC is examine the safety. And then if it is safe, we list it for 2 years on a renewable cycle. But the efficacy of it, most of the herbal medicines have not gone through. And this COVID pandemic has opened our eyes, has given us impetus in terms of moving some of the herbal medicines in our database to the efficacy level. NAFDAC last year inaugurated the Herbal Medicine Product Committee. First, because I knew from my own experience, research experience, that there are many herbal medicines that work. Part of the goals is to bring the herbalist practitioners together with the researchers. The two are essential, very essential in terms of stepping up herbal medicine translational research in Nigeria, and we have been successful because some of those products now are being thought of or being submitted, not thought of, being submitted to NAFDAC for listing. Some of the products that members of the committee have that they said have potential for COVID-19. There is nobody who will know whether it is really effective or not until we test it. That's science. Science says my hypothesis is this drug may work for this particular disease because of this set of evidences. Those are the types of things that the applicants will be submitting to us. And I believe herbal medicine research or focus will never be the same in Nigeria. We have turned a corner and we're going to have a lot of herbal medicines that the doctors will also have a buy-in for, so that there will be alternatives for any type of disease state aside from COVID.
The agency has continued to create pathways for easing the inclusion of herbal medicine as a veritable therapeutic alternative in mainstream health management in Nigeria. Although many herbal medicine practitioners claim their herbs cure several diseases and ailments, there are two different categories of NAFDAC approval.
The agency has a process called listing, where you can list a herbal remedy, which will allow us be sure that that product is safe and of good quality, but does not speak to its efficacy. So there's some documentation that will be required. So for example, like the name of the plant, if it's a polyherbal, what are the different plants you used, how did you formulate those, what dose are you recommending, and how the patient will take it, how you manufactured it, produced it, will be taken into account. We will also be concerned about the facility to make sure that basic good practices are in place to ensure that the product is of good quality. The product would have a disclaimer from NAFDAC as to its efficacy, because we have not evaluated its efficacy, and then the product will go for laboratory evaluation. So that would allow you have a product that you could submit for registration, provide the documentation that you do have, which is very minimal, and would allow you to list that product for use. You cannot claim a cure when you list. You can only speak to management of certain conditions in order to get a product listed.
Listing is the first category of herbal medicine registration.
Herbal products are regarded as medicines for regulatory purposes because of the importance of these products to the consumer. And so the agency has stipulated guidelines, just like we have guidelines for other medicines and drug products. When an applicant or a client or a marketing authorization holder wants to register a herbal product, he visits NAPAM's website and applies to register his product. On the NAPAM's website, he will have to indicate that his product is a new product, and he will have to click that it is a herbal or nutraceutical product. Once he does that, the system will guide him through the pathway for registration of herbal medicines.
To start the registration process, one must go online to www.registration.nafdac.gov.ng.
The client logs in to NAPAM's, and if he's a new applicant, he clicks on New. The system will require him to upload his account details and create a profile as a client on the database. If he's a returning applicant, the system will also allow him to click as a returning client, and he will just log in straight to his page. On the client page, we have a navigation with several boxes with options, the dashboard, the company profile, which has already been created, and then all the other boxes that are available there. Once the client is ready to register his product, he clicks on the application form icon, and the system opens for him to initiate his product registration. Once he clicks on registration, the NAPAMs will ask him, what is your application type? Are you doing data capture? Are you doing new product registration? The client clicks on new product registration. When he clicks on that, the system drops another set of products for him to select. The client selects herbal and nutraceuticals. Subsequently, the system will lead the client to other forms and boxes which have to be completed before payment is made. The client is requested to make payment via remitter. Once payment is made, the system will generate the form, the completed registration form, with all the details for the client to see and be sure that the information he has uploaded is correct. He will now be required to submit the form. After that, the client, because of the nature of herbal products, is required to proceed to provide information about the product under the following subheadings. Number 1, product details. Number 2, manufacturer's details. Number 3, product-specific documents with all the attachments. And then he's supposed to articulate this together and send an email to drug herbal registration at nafdac.gov.ng. Once the application is received, the applicant is notified by mail that his application has been received. NAFDAC will now process the application, and if there are compliance directives or there are any issues that need clarification, the system will generate emails and send to the client throughout the lifetime of the registration process. And once the product is approved, the client will be notified by email and the certificate will be issued and sent to the client by email.
If all the requirements that are in that template, on that template, are included in the submission, and we look through, that is after e-registration now, we look through and the applicant meets all the criteria, we will ask the applicant for that we're going to do inspection of the site. Why is the inspection of the site important? Because we don't want to have a herbal medicinal product made in an environment that may compromise the health of the user.
We carry out GMP inspections at sites where these herbal medicines are made. Basically, GMP is a system that has been put in place internationally to ensure consistency in the quality of products that are made and that they are controlled accordingly to meet quality standards. So we carry out these inspections. Basically, there are 5, main components or elements that we look at for. You can call them the 5 Ps. We look at for the persons, because you need people to carry out this task. We also look at the premises, that's the site where the products are made, to make sure that they are clean, that the equipment qualify. And then, of course, we look at the process itself and then the products that are used to make the product. We also look at the procedure, which basically is, the paperwork, documentation processes that are in place. And if all these things are okay, maybe you aim for the 6th P, which is the profit. I believe this is the main reason a lot of people set up businesses, to make profit. But as the regulator, my business is to ensure that the products coming from these facilities meet standards.
The facility for small scale, maybe a room or 2 rooms is still okay for a small scale industry. But we want to see that the place is neat. You have the sampling areas, you have the storage area. That storage area can be for the raw materials, packaging materials, and finished products. When you enter into the factory, there must be a flow. You enter into the changing room, you remove your street clothes and wear the factory clothes. You wear your protective apparel, that is the nose mask, the hand glove, you cover the hair, and of course the shoe. It doesn't have to be a boot, even if it's a slippers, so far it's a clean slippers. We advise that your equipment should be stainless steel, except where it is necessary that it must be wooden. Then we advise let there be dedicated wooden, materials, so as to avoid cross-contamination. So these are the expectations. Once you are producing a mixture, for instance, you must treat your water. The simplest potable water, we will not accept well water. It must be treated water. If the GMP is satisfactory, we sample the product and take it to the lab. But if it is unsatisfactory, we give them a compliance directive. That is, tell them the non-conformances we observed, which we must have discussed with them in the course of the inspection, but we'll put it in writing now so that it will be documented. So once it is documented, they will be able to see and look at all of these things and go and rectify it. The compliance directive is just telling them what to do, what they have not done well, and what they need to do. And this should be not more than 30 working days.
Let's take a short break. Stay with us. Welcome back. If you're just joining in, you're watching NAFDAC and Your Health. NAFDAC laboratories are essentially equipped to conduct appropriate tests for herbal medicine samples before gaining approval from NAFDAC. In Lagos, NAFDAC operates 2 laboratories that conduct relevant tests on the herbal drug samples.
This is Central Laboratory Oshodi. Here, as it concerns herbal medicinal products, we carry out mycotoxin, pesticide residue, and phytochemical analysis. Most of the herbal medicines are gotten from leaves, roots, bark, and bark of a plant, a tree, or syrup, and this requires drying off, in most cases, the water, so to a limited quantity. And in the process, in Nigeria mostly, they do sun drying. They expose them to fungi, which grows in them, and in the process, they produce these mycotoxins. And because of the hazardous effect it has in human, we have to screen for the presence of those mycotoxins. And if present, it's within the minimum residual level. We have units of HPLC, and we're also acquiring more that we use for these processes. We also analyze for pesticide residue. We have to screen for medicine for the pesticide residue level in the preparations. Furthermore, we carry out phytochemical analysis. We need to know the level of phytochemicals. We need to know what are the types of phytochemicals that are present in each of these herbal preparations. These methods have been accredited to ISO 17025 2017 standards. The idea of going through these parameters, mycotoxins, pesticide formulation, phytochemicals, are all safety parameters. And so for herbal medicinal products, we need to analyze these ones to ensure that the products are safe for human consumption.
At the Yaba lab, other tests are carried out, including microbiology tests.
This is the microbiology testing unit of the Central Drug Control Laboratory of NAFDAC located at Yaba, Lagos. This laboratory is equipped with many devices to conduct safety parameter testing on all types of medicine, whether it is orthodox medicine or herbal products that are locally produced or imported. Herbal products come in different types, forms, and presentation. Our duty here is to make sure that any herbal product that is released for Nigerians to consume must be very safe for people to take. Safe in the sense that we don't want you to drink a herbal product and you develop other ailments along the line. So we look at the different, the microbial level, there's a test we call microbial limit test. We want to see the colony forming units, the number of colony forming units that is within a preparation. I mentioned earlier on that there should not be any pathogenic organisms in any product. So all these things we determine. And because of the different presentations they come, some products come in form of dry powder or leaves or in water or alcoholic extracts. We have procedure for testing all these things, and we have different equipment and devices that help us achieve our aims and objectives. So apart from microbiology testing, another safety parameter we conduct in the lab here is the what we call toxicity testing. We want to be sure that the product is not toxic to human beings. And other products are made from plant origins. And those plants, some plants naturally are toxic. So we don't want to be sure that this plant, whatever plant have been used in producing this product, is not toxic. And we have facility to conduct that, to determine whether a product is orally toxic. That is what we call acute oral toxicity. We have dermatotoxicity, and at times we do LD50, a test we call LD50, to know the level of toxicity of a product. We use different laboratory animals to conduct this toxicity. And the laboratory animals, we have about 4 species of them here. We have albino rats, we have mice, we have guinea pig, and we have rabbits. So these animals, we administer these products to this animal and look for side effects or reactions in those animals. And if after a specific period of time, according to the test protocol, the animal seems to be okay, then we can determine whether a product is toxic or not.
If everything goes well, that product will be approved as listed, meaning it is approved just for 2 years. But those 2 years can be renewed if the applicant is not ready yet for the efficacy. All the tests that we will be conducting at this stage is safety test. The efficacy test includes clinical trial, includes going through a hospital, going through NAFDAC, but that is for efficacy. So the listed products can then be used by the public because we have determined that it is safe enough.
The second category of NAFDAC approval is that which is a pronouncement of the curative efficacy of the herbal medicine. However, for any herbal medicine to attain this level of approval, it must be subjected to proper clinical trial. Next week on NAFDAC and Your Health, we'll take you through the process of clinical trial, its registration and benefits. Keep it to date. This is where we wrap it all up on today's edition of the program NAFDAC and Your Health. Join us again same time, same station next week as we bring you another insightful edition. Remember, safeguarding the health of the nation is our collective responsibility. So report fake and unwholesome food and drugs and activities that create them in your area. You may have questions, comments, or inquiries. Kindly contact us. You can reach NAFDAC via toll-free numbers. For inquiries, call 0700 162 3322. For complaints, please call 0800 162 3322 or email nafdac@nafdac.gov.ng. Till next week, stay safe.